I've been making videos for quite some time, and I know very well the process that it takes and the teamwork that traditionally is involved in the cost in both money and time. And I thought I'd lay those out as a juxtaposition to these new tools that use my iPad as my camera and my telestrator and my teleprompter and just a Macintosh and a little DJI mic and CueCam video pencil and shoot. That has changed the game for me. So let's look at the first thing with regards to what does it take to build a video? Well, typically you can spend hours trying to figure out what you want to do, or you can just do it. You can just come with an idea and record it using CueCam. Writing scripts has been a solitary world of fine-tuning things, and yet this has been changed by all these new large language model tools that enable you to quickly throw an idea out, get back feedback, hone things into a script, or what I use, which is a storyboard. Storyboard this concept and let's walk through it and build images around it. And that's exactly what you're seeing right now. The old storyboard really was tedious. And if you wanted that kind of control over something, it required a specialist to go build these scenes case by case. Well, now you can come up with a prompt and get an image. The storyboard is now part of my presentation. I'm working here through these slides with this script. I got this idea this morning. I tried a bunch of different tools to figure it out. I found a way to batch process these images out of these prompts, and we're off to the races. So I don't need to worry about this job anymore being a specialist job that will lock me in a room for a week. Or this one that will create the need for somebody else who's very skilled to work on my project. Nor this one, which is going out to find where to film. We're now carrying our cameras with us wherever we go. And then the idea of casting. You're your own talent. It takes a while to get used to speaking into a teleprompter, reading, seeing yourself on screen. It's going to be something that everybody who's done TikTok or Facebook, they know, and we're all learning how to do it rather than to go and find actors to come in and follow our direction. So building the production schedule was a complex task of cast, crew, locations, equipment, renting many of these things as you build out sets and whatnot. It ends up being a shrinkage effect on the kinds of things you could produce. Now those costs have gone away. It's possible to record virtually anything that comes to mind. And the production of these things required a huge cast of characters. You had to produce using camera, lighting, sound, and all of these added to the time and complexity and cost of gathering materials. And here, once again, I don't need a sound system. I've got my CueCam that manages not only the sound out of my microphones, but also out of any kind of recorded music, background, whatever I want to add. And for lighting, I'm using the lighting in my room. and I have control over the ISO and the shutter speed and whatnot in Shoot. So then production is done. The editing process used to be layers and layers of tracks. Now I do it all on my Mac. And CueCam produces one file for me. I could have it in multiple files, and it gives me the XML that renders it into Final Cut Pro, so everything's in sync, and I can just make my cuts. And now, if I stumble on things or whatnot, that video that comes out the other end is clean. And the visual effects, the animations, those tools, as we can see, CueCam handles that in a very pleasing way. There are enough knobs and dials to put in the font, to put in the colors, but these kind of effects, frame by frame, are handled in the Macintosh-based system that we have in front of us. The likewise for sound design. The idea that I don't need to worry about what's coming from a website, let's say, or an external file. They all get mixed and managed inside CueCam in real time. And if I don't like the sound of it, I just re-record at the time of capture rather than post-processing everything. Typically, the review process in a production is because of how much money it's taken to make that production happen. Suddenly, everybody's worried about what you're doing and how is it done, and make some changes, make some edits. When we make something in this interactive way with a very small one person, few people, typically the response I get is, can I have more of that? And it means that I can produce more and I can work on my own to figure out what to produce once I get an idea of what the stakeholders want, what has value to them. It's pretty straightforward to come up with materials that move along in alignment with that goal. But then there are some things that CueCam doesn't help with at all. And one is rendering. Now, typically it does help there that you have one big file that you're going to render out. It used to take a day for me to upload something into YouTube. And now I can do multiple versions, one to YouTube, one to Dropbox, Facebook, whatnot. These multi-gigabyte final files just need a good network. CueCam gives me the materials and I'm good to go. Of course, the marketing side of it I have to do. So creating the thumbnail, creating keywords, creating the descriptions, putting those tags in are things that used to be a full-time job for people. And once again, just increase the time required and the cost required to do these things. Now it's sitting on my desktop. And when I publish, this is the job I've always had, is it's time to go. And we're going to go across those various platforms. And we want to make it so that all those audiences get a good experience with the new materials that we're putting out. For me right now, it's Discord and it's YouTube. Pretty straightforward. And the advertising campaign, when you have a community, then you know who's going to watch. So when we micro market, in other words, we're building things and we know what the objective is and we know what the audience has benefit by, we get the repeat watchers. This actually is how I got this put together. And this is the website built by the tool I use to create the prompts and then to create the images. And what's nice is I just could put these all into CueCam for a much better performance. I could go into each one of these and explain it this way, but I'm in a little bubble over in the corner. To me, the CueCam option of being right next to the illustration provides a unique staging that is much more effective than scrolling through an artifact that's sitting on another platform. But it's option that I can have with CueCam. Either way, it all works. And in reality, I got started on this in the morning. It's now 4:30 and I've recorded everything. I took break for lunch. In fact, all those renderings are happening during lunch and we're done. So I hope you enjoy the video.